Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your May 2021 bonus reading. We are going to, actually, what we're going to do is one of my favorite people of all time, Greg Braden, says, when your head and your heart become one, you can move mountains. So we're going to take a look at your head right here. We're going to take a look at where your heart is right here. And then we're going to take a look at how you can smash the two things together so that you can move mountains this month, whatever that means for you. Actually, this is a timeless reading, so it is for whenever you find it. And I just trust that you will find it when you need it here, Aquarius. But let's see what is going on for you here, Aquarius. Definitely let me know what you think of this spread down below as well. So let's see here. Aquarius, kicking it off here in the area of your head, you have the Hawk Spirit. This card says, let spirit be your guide. In a lot of ways, I feel like your head is kind of in that zone here. And again, I forgot to say, watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But also, again, this moving mountains doesn't have to be something difficult. It could be you accomplishing like a goal, something that you want to achieve. It could be you ending something, completing something. A mountain can be anything here in this reading. So again, normally mountains are challenges, but this reading is meant to be more of a goal or, manifestation, right? When your head and your heart become one, you can manifest whatever you want, basically. So you have this Hawk Spirit here in the area of your head. So it says, let spirit be your guide. I feel for a lot of you, you are being guided at this time, and intuitive, I feel like your brain knows, or your head is kind of in the right place as far as meditation is concerned. You are Aquarius, the sign of meditation. Aquarius represents meditating and all sorts of stuff, so it wouldn't really surprise me if you were in this very kind of meditative space here. I do feel like you're noticing, it's popping into my head here with this Hawk Spirit. It's like you're noticing some sort of difference in your life. Hawks soar very high in the sky, right? But part of the hawk totem meaning is that they also get chased by little birds, right? So it can represent you kind of making a change in your life that either other people don't agree with. But again, it doesn't have to be that extreme. It could just be that you're doing something that most people don't do. So it's kind of like you're in your head, I feel like you're creating some sort of difference in your life here, Aquarius. You have the Two of Cups, the Hermit, and the Queen of Pentacles here. You have done a bunch of work, and I feel you have been trying to kind of gather resources, I feel, with this Queen of Pentacles energy. Excuse me, Aquarius. So I feel like you have been gathering resources to kind of make a decision and do something you've wanted to do. You have the Two of Cups here. Two of Cups could be love, but again, this reading, it's more meant to be just anything that you want to achieve. Again, this is a big picture reading. It's you achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. And it's like you've been trying to gather some resources. Your head, like I said, with that Two of Cups, the Two of Cups is you and your higher self. So your head is very much in alignment, I feel, spiritually with the things that you desire to have in your life. The Two of Cups could just say, and kind of what I feel here intuitively is it's just that, number one, I always look at the Two of Cups as you and your higher self. And I feel that this could be saying that it's like you're just in alignment with what your soul wants at this time or what your higher self wants at this time. I also feel like you're very good at recognizing exactly what is right for you and what's not right for you as far as your head is concerned. So this could be in love, could be in business, could be whatever. And the Queen of Pentacles, I am almost feeling like a little bit of a challenge here, just because we go Queen of Pentacles to the Ten of Wands up to the Ace of Cups here in this first diagonal, or technically this second diagonal here, Aquarius. So it's almost like you have been trying to find the resources to be able to accomplish something. It's because again, the Queen of Pentacles is a very practical, kind of grounded energy. It makes sense that it would come up in the area of your head. So, that makes perfect sense to me. And I definitely feel that you see a mountain to climb. Again, Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn, so I feel that you kind of see some sort of obstacle or something that you're trying to achieve. The thing is that you have the Hermit. The Hermit kind of says, you have already climbed a mountain. You have already achieved something. The Hermit is normally standing at the top of a mountain, and it kind of says that he has already achieved something that he desires. He has already kind of reached the pinnacle of success, or he has already kind of found the answers he was looking for. So I'm not really sure. I do feel a little bit of a delay here in you kind of again, moving a mountain in your life, you accomplishing something or achieving something or getting something that you truly desire. But let's see here. what we have for you, Aquarius. Let's clarify this. You have the Queen of Cups here. Definitely more about your heart. Queen of Cups is a very nurturing energy here. It's almost like your solution to get your head and your heart more into alignment. Is your solution is to nurture the things that you want to nurture. Basically, just take care of things that matter to you. You have the Three of Cups. Pretty much everybody has had the Three of Cups, or something having to do with community in these readings. So, I feel like focusing on a community, building a community, all those things are going to be important at this time. You have the Moon card as well. Could be some fears in doing what it is that you want to do here. So you could be having some fears in, it's like the fear is lack of resources, right? As far as your head is concerned. Like no matter what thing that you're trying to manifest, no matter what you're trying to achieve at this time, this would tell me that in your head, the fear is kind of the lack of resources, or feeling like you're not going to have the resources to do something. Or it also could be like, I'm getting a million things in my head. It could be the fear of loss. It could be like maybe you see someone that you're in love with, but you're like, if I marry this person, I'm losing my freedom, right? That is also a resource. You could be saying, or for some of you, I feel like you're interested in a person here in love, and you could be saying to yourself, like, what happens if this person leaves me in the future? I feel like I recently did a reading for you, Aquarius, where I was like, too much future. There's too much future thought going on in your reading, so I'd be careful of that, because I don't think these things are going to happen. And if you can come into alignment, obviously you will move mountains. Like I said, that's the whole point of this reading. For others, again, same thing like work or business. It's like maybe you want to start a business, but you're just saying to yourself here with the Queen of Pentacles and the Moon, it's like you're fearing whether or not the business will be successful, or if I get this business and it fails, then what? It's like all those fears are going on here, Aquarius. Next, in the area of where your heart is at right now, you have the Treasure Island card. Definitely a card of dreaming. The Treasure Island card is a card of like as above, so below. So I do get like a very dreamy, imaginative energy on this card. And I feel like you need to kind of like imagine exactly what you want at this time. Again, this card is as above, so below. So I would use your powers of manifestation, and I would also keep it positive. It kind of is saying that your heart is definitely in the right place as far as manifestation is concerned with this energy. You have the Seven of Wands, the Ten of Wands, and the Two of Swords here. It's like really needing to make a decision to do something here, Aquarius, that you want to do. A lot of burdens, like I do feel your heart could be burdened at this time. Sorry about that, Aquarius. But anyway, what I was saying here in this middle row is that your heart is like feeling a little bit burdened. I do feel you could be feeling a little bit trapped here with the Seven of Wands. And sorry, I don't know if my camera's focusing today because there's something going on with my iPad and it's just lagging for some reason. But anyway, I do feel that you could feel a little bit trapped with this Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is a card of conviction, but I almost feel in love, for example, you could be dealing with a very stubborn person, and that could be part of the problem here as far as love is concerned. And I'm not saying that you're going for a stubborn person in love. I'm saying that you could be dealing with a stubborn person that is preventing you from moving on. And I definitely get that message here as far as your heart is concerned. The Two of Swords is like too much back and forth energy. It's kind of interesting because this is like a very logical energy to be getting in your heart, basically, as far as your heart energy is concerned. So the Two of Swords is kind of like thinking too logically, needing to make a compromise, but also I like really the message I'm getting for you here, Aquarius, is that you just need to see the other side. I feel like you could be kind of too focused on one outcome. And what I mean by that is, like, again, clearly in the last row, we're going to see how to mix your head and your heart together so that you can move mountains. Like, that's the whole point of this reading. But I feel that for some of you, it's like there's something you want, like a person or a business or a job or health or whatever it is that you want, right? And it's like I think you are kind of focusing too much on the potential negative outcome. And you're not giving enough energy to the potential positive outcome, which could be truly amazing. So I do get like a little bit of a pessimistic energy here. I'm not calling you out, Aquarius, as always, but I do feel there's like a little bit of a kind of stinking thinking type of energy going on here as far as your heart is concerned. And I feel that some of you could even be feeling this feeling. Like if you think about something that you desire to have in your life, you could kind of feel that like almost sinking feeling in your heart when you think about it, because I think you're thinking too negatively about it. The Treasure Island card really says you control your own reality. It is a card that says you will get exactly what you think about. So I would keep it positive for sure here, Aquarius, as much as possible. So let's see, you have the Ace of Wands, passion, new beginning, the Six of Wands, success, happiness, And the Knight of Pentacles, yeah, one foot in front of the other. Really, I feel your heart needs to focus on things that set it on fire. Again, you're like the second sign that has had a message like this. The Ace of Wands is extreme passion, being very passionate about something. The Six of Wands is, major success. But the Six of Wands also is kind of like a card of having gone to war. He has been to war on the Six of Wands, and now he's coming back. He is being celebrated, but again, he has been through something very difficult. He has been through something that is extremely challenging. So it is a card of success, but it's also a card of like having been through something very difficult. Ten of Wands. You've experienced a lot of burdens. For some of you, I just feel like you kind of need to put those burdens down. Like it's popping into my head that the burdens you could be experiencing are kind of like a specific situation in your life, like dealing with a person that you don't like or dealing with whatever, a job that you don't like. And the Ten of Wands is kind of like just saying, end it. I feel that in a lot of ways. I know like for some people that's like easier said than done, but I would just like end a situation. Knight of Pentacles is, I feel, just saying, just try it in a lot of ways. I've talked to so many people, right? Aquarius, I've talked to a lot when I back in the day when I used to do personal readings. I've talked to so many people who are like in their 60s who have a ton of regrets. Like they regret being too afraid to date a person, or they regretted being too afraid to start that business that they wanted to start, whatever. So it's like, don't end up with those regrets. Even if you are 60, again, I feel like I just said this to you in a recent reading. Even if you are 60, there's still time. You're not going to die tomorrow, right? You still have like a good 30 years at least, probably more, to get something done. So it's like the Knight of Pentacles is saying, give something a try, give something a shot. So, that's what I would do there. It's like fortune favors the bold, right? So it's like you gotta, I always get comments where people are always like, yeah, but if I do it, if I do it, then I'm not gonna have money and all this other stuff. I'm like, well, fortune favors the bold. You gotta be bold. You gotta be assertive. It just is what it is. So that's that. Putting it all together here, putting your head and your heart together so that you can move mountains, coming into alignment. You have the Ace of Pentacles and you have the Ace of Cups, two aces in this row, three aces, and you have the Ace of Wands again. Damn, I didn't even see that last ace down here. This is a really nice reading for you. Ace of Pentacles just says focus on something that has potential. I think that's very scary for people, is focusing on something that just has potential. In one of these other decks I have laying around here, the potential card has a mountain on it, right? It's just one big mountain, and it kind of just represents the fact that something that has potential in our life, potential is just potential. It's nothing, right? So we have to be the one to put in the work. And potential could also lead to failure because potential is just potential. But I feel like you need to move towards something that has potential here. You have the Ace of Cups, the Emperor, and the Ace of Wands here. Definitely three aces, major new beginning coming in for you here. The Ace of Cups is something that makes your emotions overflow. The Ace of Wands is something you're very passionate about, something very exciting. And the Emperor here, I feel, is saying you need to take control of something that you want to manifest in your life. So it's almost like saying once you take control, you will be very successful. I feel like that's how you get these three things together. It's really, in a lot of ways, this reading is pushing you towards something, doing something new as well. So it's like, let's say you want true love, then obviously I feel this reading is saying that new love is going to be the thing that brings in true love. If you want, successful business, a new business is probably the thing you need to do, or a successful job or career, something new. Three aces is definitely newness, or doing something new, or doing something that you've never done before. So that's what I would do if I were you here. I also am like getting something about messages as well. I feel like you could be receiving messages. The thing that I would say is that three aces could represent like an offer, something being presented to you, and I would accept it because I feel like that's the thing that's going to kind of move you closer to what you want. Really, I've kind of like overcomplicated this because these three aces are very passionate, right? They're all based off of passions. I feel like putting your energy into things that you're more passionate about is going to move mountains for you here, Aquarius. Yeah, you have the Three of Pentacles. I mean, Three of Pentacles is pretty obvious because it just says work on things where you can create quality, work on things where you can do a good job. And so, if you're trying to grow your business, do what works. And, I say it all the time, but that's what the Three of Pentacles represents. You have the Temperance card here. and you have the Two of Pentacles. Mixing two things together here. It's funny that we're doing a reading where we're trying to ask, how do you get your head and your heart to become one? The Temperance card would be mixing two things together. So even with these aces, it's like you might have two passions. You have a passion that you love that causes you to overflow with the Ace of Cups, and you also have another passion here with the Ace of Wands that's maybe more creative. The Ace of Cups could be maybe something that's a little bit more unrealistic, like maybe you love dragons, right? Not very realistic. Maybe you like dragons, unicorns, and vampires. The Ace of Wands here would be you like writing a book about dragons, unicorns, and vampires, right? I'm sure that's the next thing that's coming out, right? That's going to be the next terrible movie series that comes out in like 2025, right? Is dragons, unicorns versus vampires or something like that. And so, again, this is like you mixing something that's not very realistic with something that is realistic here with the Ace of Wands. It's definitely a weird message, but it's popping into my head. For some of you, it could be a relationship. It's like maybe there's someone, maybe you're in love with Tom Cruise, right? It's like maybe Tom Cruise is a little bit out of reach, but Ace of Wands could say maybe you have a neighbor that looks like Tom Cruise. Close enough, right? It's like a little bit unrealistic, but maybe your neighbor looks like Tom Cruise or something like that. I don't know. All these stories are popping in my head. I feel like you're just mixing two things together. Something unrealistic, something that is realistic. Those are just some examples for you here, Aquarius. But this is a really nice reading. Definitely success. I feel like you will be moving mountains at the, in the near future, especially if you mix those two things together. It's like you're making the impossible possible here. I don't even think that's accurate, really. I feel like what you're doing here is, again, taking something that's kind of like a dream and doing what you can. Maybe that's a better way to put it. It's like, I feel like, a lot of people want $1 billion. It's like you're not going to just jump straight to $1 billion. There are things in between. It's like you're kind of starting small here. But I like it. So thank you for being here, Aquarius. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. Really appreciate the support. But thank you, and definitely enjoy the rest of your month.